Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 286. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinensky. Hello.
Have you ever wondered what happened to Asian Dub Foundation?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
They did that Like a G8 song, or Like a G6
Oh,
song.
Fly Like a G6?
Yeah.
That's what that group was called?
I think that was them.
What?
Also, hi, Jana.
Hi. Hello.
So we were just talking off air about the Humphrey Man lift and the Pillsbury A-Mill, and it's kind of a small
The
world.
Washburn A-Mill also had Humphrey man lifts
So
in
good.
which
Oh,
a
they're still
fellow
around.
died. But it's okay. Somebody also died in our grain separator, so.
People have died everywhere. As long as you just
Yep.
Wrap your head around that, it's totally chill.
What I hate, though, is I was on the 8th floor the other day, and somebody pointed
Oh, it's
towards
Far
the
East movement. I'm sorry.
But somebody pointed towards the
Them.
grain separator, which you can't actually see from where the public is, and they
Okay.
go, "That's definitely the most haunted." And I was like, "Great! I gotta sit here for the next half hour by
That'll be fun.
myself.
You're just
Thank you."
confronting your fears every day. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. So whenever somebody asks me if it's haunted, I go, "Haha, the flower tower's haunted."
Oh, wow.
Is it actually?
No,
So-
I'm not allowed to say whether or not the mill's haunted.
The Far
we
East
are
movement.
neutral on that move on that statement.
The Far East movement has been around since 2003.
Oh,
That Like a G6 band.
So they used to be A-Mill employees.
yeah.
Yes. And they left when the mill closed, and then they became DJs, and they're still around.
What an
No.
inspiring story.
So the Humphrey Man lift moves on.
Wonder what they do now.
Lives on, rather. Not moves on. Sorry, you guys listen to Carbitrage.
Oh,
You
that's
were
what they do.
aware
They
of our
work with.
tangents.
So the Far East movement actually works with a bunch of like K-pop groups and stuff, and they do like the backing tracks for K-pop.
Oh,
So
okay.
they have actually like a lot of music that you've probably heard on random like
Just their
TikToks or
samples?
something. Like it is like their beats and stuff, yeah. And they're like a touring band for them as well. So for like some groups, that's
Well,
cool.
Just so you know, you've gotten Fly Like a G6 stuck in my head.
Well, I'm sorry, that's a terrible song.
It is not great, and I still don't know if they're referencing a Gulfstream or a Pontiac.
They are referencing a Gulfstream.
Yeah, but I'm still not positive. Like, have they actually come out and
So
said
I have
that
an
on video?
old style. Yes, they have actually.
Okay, good.
I have an old style which has a
Wait for it.
beautiful toil can that tells you the history of beer making in Germany. Look, honey. Look at this beautiful toil. Tells you all about German beer
Where's the
making.
sleepy guy?
Sleepy guy. Where's the sleepy guy? There's a guy that's sleeping on the
Yep,
can.
there's a sleeping lazy man on there.
Oh, there he is. He right
He's
there.
had too many old style today.
He's taking a nap. He's next to. He's chilling with his doggo next to the classic lager on the.
I
the
mean,
can. It's good.
that's
It's good beer. I
That's
love
what
this
you
beer.
do in the old style. How is it?
Anyway,
Is it everything
it's
you dreamed it
wonderful.
could be?
It's an old style. I love it. I
It is
wish
tremendous.
I wish I could get a 30-pack like I can with hams, and I would drink these over hams.
I probably would too. I would buy them both.
Yeah, they're both really good. But anyway, so I want to talk about engines that make 200
10
horsepower
times.
over 2,000 horsepower, which
There
is
we go.
2,200 horsepower.
Good save, Ryan.
I almost misspoke, but I didn't. So engines that make
You
22
did, you just saved it.
engines that make 2,200 horsepower. The LS V8. I may actually say the Cummins 6BT is
This is
capable of
my-
that.
It is? And
Yes.
I
First
added one in there
individual
too.
text to my coworker
Oh, very sweet.
that you wrote a 7-page paper on the Humphrey Man lift.
Yes.
The
I
big
am
block
a
Chevy
nerd.
can make 2,200 horsepower.
It can indeed.
The 2JZ GTE.
Yes.
The Barra.
I added that. You're welcome.
Yes, you missed the second R in it.
Whatever.
It's
Added
Barra,
them.
not Barra.
Barra. Barra.
Yes.
Barra.
And apparently,
Capybara.
the B18.
I did see this.
Yes.
And that is
I'm sorry.
absurd.
The what? The B18.
That's the
You know
Honda
that-
one, right? The
Yeah,
four-cylinder?
The one that everybody made fun of me for liking in high school because
Who made fun of you for liking B18s?
because everybody did
Oh,
not
because
like
everyone
Hondas.
liked Honda. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, nobody liked Hondas. But no, it was literally so Outlaw or not Outlaw, Speed Factory Racing has an Outlaw Civic again. They were the ones that had that incredible one that crashed a few years ago.
That black one?
No, the one with the Speed Factory livery on it that exploded.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
That one.
Yes.
But now they've come back bigger and better with a turbo that is actually surprisingly reasonably sized, given
think-
the amount of power that they're making. It's not just an insane turbo. There's a lot more happening here. Because that's like Yeah, that's a big turbo, but that's like
The volumetric efficiency of turbos and the way that they actually make the rotating assembly has improved
so much. Yeah.
so much. It's almost improved more than tire technology in the same amount of time.
Yeah, and our tire technology is like going like gangbusters right now.
Because you used to need like a 100 mil turbo to make 600 horse now.
Yeah.
You can make that out of a 50 mil turbo.
No, this
easy.
is like the size of like a whole set from the looks of it.
Yeah.
Like that's not that big of it. It's a big turbo, but it's not that big.
For you listeners, it looks like a whole set HX60.
Also, look at how small the hot side of the turbo is.
Hold on, let me go back.
It's at 5 seconds.
Right
Right there.
Bam.
Look how small that hot side is.
Well, it's a small engine.
Yeah, it's a very small hot side with a gigantic cold side.
But yeah, the fact that this is making 2,000 horsepower with the turbo is that
2,000.
size.
No, not 2,000. Don't sell them short. It's 2,200 horsepower.
2,193.4 at the hubs.
Absolutely bananas power. That is totally insane. And I was actually saying at work, I was like,
That is 1,000 horsepower per liter.
yeah. And I was
Remember when the S2000 came up? People were like,
Yeah.
whoa, 100 horse a liter.
I was at work and there was a 800 horsepower Civic in our system, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of power. I'm like, I used to work in this industry, and I remember when 800 horsepower was a lot for an Evo. Like
I remember when
10
800 horsepower was a lot for a V8.
10 years ago when I was working at MA Performance, like they had the world's fastest stock frame turbo Evo, and that was like 800 and change, and like 800 horsepower is no joke. 500 horsepower is no joke. 400 is no joke.
I
Like,
still remember the 4G powered RX-7. I couldn't believe it was 1,000 horse. I'm like, oh my
yeah,
god.
it's like that's insane. Then here's Speed Factory, 2,000 horsepower out of a car with a timing belt.
A timing belt spinning at 10,465 RPM.
Totally ridiculous. I think that's actually more power than the most powerful K series now.
I think so. I was gonna put that in the list, but
I am vindicated.
so far,
Yeah,
but B series is a great engine.
yes, I'm just vindicated because I never wanted to put a K series in my car because it's too much fucking work. Like it
'Cause it's
did
the
make
other
more.
way?
Yeah, it's the other way. It's a ton of work. I'm like, no, this one I just need a sledgehammer. I need to hammer in like 4 inches of my frame rail and it fits. It's fine.
I do like that peak torque was made at 9,351 RPM.
Yeah, I saw
11
that. I was looking for the torque graph, and the torque graph is the torque curve and the horsepower curve are almost identical. Yeah.
The numbers are so significant, it is tough to tell them apart. But yeah, they do cross still at 52.52. But yeah, 1,187 foot-pounds, again, at the hubs.
I've been wondering, out of normal drivability, how much horsepower do you have at about like 2,000 RPM? There. Where is that land? I can't quite see it on... Here, I'll bring it up on my computer.
video resolution's not good enough.
Well, so we know we're 2,000... Or, so what is it? What's the
So-
maximum RPM?
11,000 looks like. So we had 10, 9, 8. So 7, 6,000 is where the graph starts.
Oh,
So the crossover is actually off the page.
okay. And
So
so,
not-
what's the bottom of that graph then?
600.
So it's totally street drivable then. This is a streetable car.
It's making 600 horsepower at what did I just say for RPM? 6,000.
That's fine.
That's
That's a totally reasonable
just
car.
an insanely high power B series.
You have
that
a-
just does more.
You have an absolutely normal vehicle that continues to get better moving forward. Or maybe the graph just goes like absolutely nothing until like 5,900 RPM, shoots up 600 horsepower, and then goes to the moon from
do
there.
feel like it's probably a 100 horsepower car until you get like 5,000 RPM.
Still 100 horsepower in a Honda Civic is
fine. That's how it's
exactly
supposed to be.
normal. That's a
how it is.
normal amount of power.
Supposed to be.
It just goes from there. I love that. I would love to see, like, so Speed Factory should make billet blocks that are basically just like a detuned version of this engine.
Is that a billet block? I assume
No,
so.
it's not.
That's a stock block.
It doesn't look billet. It didn't look like a billet block to me.
That's true. It wasn't shiny.
Yeah, no.
Oh man.
Let me see here.
Does it say
I
in
don't
the
think.
description? I'm gonna bring this back.
I don't think it was a billet block. It might be.
Usually they would. I mean, it's like the GTR thing. People will tell you if it's not.
Because usually what people do is they'll take like a normal block and they'll just stuff. That is not a billet block. It's actually also not a billet head either.
So a stock casting on
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
And it
stock
was
castings
the start of the B18, not a B20.
from the looks of it. But B20s and B18s.
I just went to their website to try to
I think
see.
a B20 has a higher deck height, but that's it.
Oh, so yeah, it's like the K24 thing, where it's technically the same engine, but
Just a little bit of a higher deck. Yeah.
it's kind of nice that Honda they were still able to fit. Like you can use almost every accessory between those engines.
No, you could totally put that into an Integra and have a reasonable car.
Yeah.
Like you could take that gigantic turbo off, and you can just go back to having a normal ass car, relatively normal ass
I still
car.
feel like if you drove it out of boost, it would still act like an Integra, right?
If you drive that out of boost, it'd still act like a totally normal Honda.
I'm
Yeah,
sure the cams are a little shittier, but you're not going to notice that.
yeah. Like you're gonna have some trouble idling, and it's not gonna be great from stoplights. It's gonna actually be objectively terrible from stoplights.
Depends on how much anti-lag and RPM you put in it.
I'm considering the clutch is going to be awful.
True.
That's gonna be the worst clutch
Also,
you've ever
can we talk
dealt
about
with.
the fact that some Honda transmission apparently is taking 2,200 horsepower?
Yeah, that's just the thing. Actually, there's I think there's probably a what's the name of the company that does them? There's a company that makes 4 speeds.
Oh yeah, the dog boxes.
yeah,
the
dog box.
billet
That's the company.
dog
Yeah,
boxes.
so it's probably like a dog box
So stock casting block and head, but the tranny.
and transmission.
Gotcha.
It's stock casting tranny.
No, they put billet bell housings.
Do
on
they?
those things.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought
yeah,
they were just stock, but yeah, so that's cool. Anyway, I want to talk about that because that's incredible.
That
Good
is-
for that. Like that. That is genuinely incredible.
That's how you know you're jaded, because I saw that and I scrolled past it.
Oh,
And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, okay, it's ridiculous Honda
Like,
again.
there's just nothing that a Honda 4-cylinder engine can do at this point that will surprise me.
Yeah, no, this is like when you have that little scrawny kid in high school and everybody bullies him and then he gets like super jacked and then becomes a supermodel and then you just keep seeing photos of him getting more and more and more jacked.
Everyone's at the 20 year and they're like, oh yeah, remember Tyler? Yeah, he's,
Yeah,
he's
they're
a
the one that-
multi-billionaire. I was like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, he's the one that's like, tracking this.
Yeah. So
That's
Honda is the nerdy kid from school that did extremely well in the real world.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway.
talking about nerdy.
Do you know Needles
kids in
from
the-
school? He
That
Nick.
sounds really
His
familiar.
name's Nick. He worked at CERN and now he's a French teacher in Iowa.
That is a weird progression. That's like a VinFast career.
Yeah, well, he spoke
Pivot.
French and he worked at CERN and then he got married to a French lady and then he moved to the States.
That's fair. But Iowa?
I think he got a job doing something related, a related field. I don't think it's high school or anything. I think he teaches like college or something. But
Maybe they use like corn products in the Large Hadron Collider or something.
maybe. Who knows?
Anyway, I want to talk about gotta be at this point, the longest running manual transmission moniker sold in this country. Because the 2024 quote unquote all new Toyota Tacoma, like half their press photos are touting the fact that it's still sold with the 6-speed manual, which is awesome.
Wow.
I know.
That's great.
It's-
Wait, hold up. 6-speed manual and 2GR FSE? Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Also, can we talk about how long the 2GR FSE has been in production?
That's an incredible
2007.
combo.
I know.
Can you get a rear-wheel drive one?
Yeah. Yes.
So you can get a manual rear-wheel drive 2GR FSE.
Yes. You just have to have a taco.
Why is this not getting swapped into every single car?
Yet. I don't know. That's a good question.
That would be like you put that into like a Infiniti.
Here's another
like
question.
J30 would be a perfect car.
Why is the Lexus IS not offering that as an option? Because it's federalized. We know that powertrain is federalized.
Yeah, that'd be literally perfect for a Lexus IS.
Bolton, you buy 7 of them Toyota and you crash test them, then we can have nice cars again.
That'd be great.
Can you imagine how good a new IS 350, even with that old engine? Who cares?
Yeah, that's a great
It's
engine.
a great engine. Still makes like 340 horsepower.
It doesn't matter if it's old.
No, in fact, it's good that it's old. It had no problems when it was new, and it still has no problems.
Yeah, it's a perfect engine. That's
Two
the
GR
thing.
FSE
I
is-
love
is
my
terrific.
Lexus.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
3MZ is really
I
good too.
don't want anything.
The 3
The
like,
the
newer.
the 2GR is your mom's engine.
Yeah, like
the later Sienna engine.
there's too much going on in new cars. Like I have to drive the employer's car all the time for the person I nanny for.
That's too bad.
She has a Highlander
Oh.
hybrid
What was the Highlander called in the other country again?
Clugger. Hybrid Clugger. I told her
Yeah.
it's a Clugger when I got it. I'm like, oh, it's a
Good.
Clugger. She goes, what? I'm like, oh, that's a Japanese name for this. She goes, wow, I see why they call him the Highlander. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
so-
terrible name.
I have to.
Oh, if I had a Highlander, I would put a Clugger badge on that bad
Fun
boy.
fact, the first generation Highlander,
Yes.
next time you see one, look at the rear badge. The A in Lander
Yeah.
the kerning is off.
No, don't tell me this shit.
It's off to the right, like noticeably.
Oh, is that like the first gen Camry badge too, where everything was like leaned over just really awkwardly?
No, it's literally like somebody put an extra space in it.
I don't. No, I took typography. I'm already completely ruined on kerning and letting.
But yeah, so I've had to drive this Highlander a
Clugger.
lot. Clugger. I've had
Thank
to
you.
drive this Clugger to like Northfield a few times,
Jeez.
and it's awful because there's so much going on and it's very distracting. And then anytime you're like slightly too left in a lane or too
Does it
right
nudge
in a
you?
lane, yeah, it like vibrates the wheel.
That shit's. I posit that shit is dangerous.
Yeah, it's awful.
Like it just beeps at you, and I'm like, what's going on? And like it does nudge too, and I'm like, oh, it's
the L actually that's off. 1 second.
I can't stand it because like
I'm looking it up right now. I'll bring you 2009 Highlander.
No, just put it under my
I'm
leg.
like,
Okay.
just give me my Lexus that has a tape deck, a CD deck, radio. That's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
I don't want a nav screen.
Heated and air controlled seats, sunroof. That's all. I'm happy.
You want a mid 2000s Lexus?
Yeah.
Well, then
Exactly
good
what you
news.
own. A
It's
mid 2000s
exactly what I want.
Lexus.
Good news. That's exactly what you have. I
Yeah.
do wish they sold an ES240 here. That would be the only thing.
I do wish that it was a wagon, but I'll take a sedan.
Oh, is that just for the American
Yes, touring.
market?
It was so
I had to
good.
put Rumi's car seat in my back seat, and I'm like, oh, this would be much better with a wagon. But
Wagons are just. I drove Mr. Wags all last week, and it was so tremendous.
it looked divine.
Oh, so good. It's the best car. It's just the best car.
I think I might have found it.
The Clugger kerning?
Yeah, I'm working on this. This is very, very difficult.
Oh, should
So-
I do more Wii music?
No, I'm
I'm
so close. I cannot right click on this.
I took my Wii out of storage 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah?
We were having a vintage gaming night where everyone brought all their old consoles. I'm like, oh, I've got a Wii here. Let me power this up.
God damn it! I just want the fucking right.
Two-finger tap.
Press. Wait, what?
Tap with 2 fingers on the trackpad over right click.
No, it 3D.
2 fingers.
Oh, 2 fingers? Second here. Sorry. Ah! Fucking A.
I only learned that because I use remote desktop on my phone, and there's like shortcuts to do. Like if you want to drag something with a touchscreen, you have to tap once and then drag. And like
That's awful.
it's not
This is
great.
bad UX.
Well, that is true.
This is exactly why I'm
should-
doing this. All right, go here, scroll down to the photo of the rear end.
All right.
And if you look at where the A is placed next to the L in Highlander,
This is
it'll say more
great
pictures
audio.
at the top.
Oh, you said scroll down. Sorry.
Sorry, I thought we'd keep it open. Oh, no. Yeah, we see it says 39 photos, 39.
Yep.
And then go to the no, stop! Just any photo of the rear end.
Oh, this generation too.
Yeah, that generation. Now, scroll back up. It'll show you the photo at the top now because it's bad. And look at where the
Oh
A,
no,
You see that?
that's a high. Oh,
Yeah. You see what I mean?
that's literally a Highlander.
It's a high L-ander.
Highlander.
Yeah.
Highlander.
It's off. I'm not
Great.
crazy, right?
No,
That's real life.
Well, it's two type between the L and the A. It doesn't bother me as much between the H and the L, but yeah, the L and the A, that's not acceptable.
Okay. How much money does Toyota have?
Gobs. Heaps. Way more than VinFast.
They didn't fix that.
No, they probably did that on purpose.
I fucking hate that. Yeah, it was probably Akio Toyota
Yeah,
saying,
see,
no, we
this-
have to make this garbage. I'm going to ruin it.
This right here is how vertical video is to my brain. This
hate
is
that
how much
so
it hurts.
Well, vertical video works if it's on a phone, but in any other form.
I get it.
Yeah. Like if it's a TikTok, it makes sense. Like, you don't make a TikTok
But
horizontally.
if you put it on the screen, black.
But oh my god, that's awful.
I'm putting
I
eye
hate
bleach
that
on here.
so much. Anyway, we're going to talk about my project car update.
Sounds good. Let me
And my
rub this
project
back.
car update is it's Buick time. Woohoo! Buick time. I'm flushing the cooling system because I'm going to put in an aluminum radiator temporarily for back to the 50s and for ownership.
Do you have to put like anodes in there, or are you good just draining it and making sure you have the special coolant that doesn't cross whatever?
You know, this is a
Can you
thing.
use vinegar?
Flushing a rusty classic car cooling system is proving to me that opinions are like assholes and that everybody has one, and they're often contradicting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh
Have
my
you been
God.
on a forum before?
Yeah, no, Jesus Christ. Have you heard the old adage, if you have two Jews in a room, you have three opinions?
No, but I really like that.
It's literally, you could say that about boomers with classic cars, too. Holy fuck.
No, Jay Leno talks. He only uses one type of coolant in all the
Yes.
ancient cars. What is that?
It's waterless coolant. But the thing is Jay Leno does that after he cleans out the cooling system. But what I'm talking about is, how do you get the rust out of the cooling system?
Can you just put a bunch of evaporust in it and then dump it out?
So that's one of the solutions.
Is it actually?
Yes. Another solution is, you need to go to garage sales and find old Prestone coolant flush made prior to like 2008 when the EPA went bananas. And then there's like 8 posts about the EPA complaining about the EPA instead of just living with life.
Okay.
And like posting on a forum is not going to fix anything.
Why be proactive?
I don't care about the EPA. I just want to know what the fuck to do.
What's the
So
current
apparently,
solution?
what people are saying is, before I can flush my cooling system, I have to go to random garage sales until I find this old Prestone cooling
Can
flush.
you just find the active ingredient that used to be in there?
Yeah, I totally can. And so that active ingredient is some sort of like ascorbic acid or something.
Okay, cool. So just put that in
Yeah.
modern flush.
Exactly.
Right?
Done.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay. So this is the thing. That is actually so bad it'll eat the head gaskets out of your car.
Great.
So don't want to do that.
Great.
What another person said was, all right, dump all the coolant out and then refill it with vinegar and then run the car as you normally would for about a week, and it works perfectly.
Okay.
Because white vinegar is just acid.
Sure. Yeah. It's a really mild.
It's a mild acid.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And so it won't damage your head
So I
gaskets or anything.
got 3 gallons of white vinegar added to my grocery list.
Yep. So that's what we're going to be buying. Cause I'm going to do that because I'm going to start with that because I don't want to fuck anything up. And
Yeah.
like,
Well, it should be fine.
and so
It's got
what?
terrible like cooling properties, but whatever.
I mean,
We're not
it's
driving
got.
far.
I better tell you, it's going to be better than my current radiator. And then one of the problems was, I got to ask people. I'm like, hey, I just want you to know this is my current process. Is there anything else I should consider that's like unique to nailheads? Because I know that these have a bunch of weird shit with their cooling systems because they were like developed over the course of like 15 years in the middle of the 1950s and 60s
At
when
least they were
technology
developed.
was technology was advancing rapidly.
Yeah.
What should I consider here? And one of the guys was like, are you sure you need to rebuild your radiator? And I'm like, yes. He goes, how do you know? I'm like, well, judging by the fact that the inside's all scaly and that there's coolant coming out of places where it shouldn't be coming out of, I presume this needs to get rebuilt. And he goes, yeah, that sounds about right. And I'm like, fucking hey, dude, I'm aware that
We took 2 steps back.
Great, thank you. Okay, cool. That was of no help whatsoever, but holy shit. Don't ever ask anybody opinions.
I rarely do.
But, like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, hey, I just want to make sure. It's like, because I know it's a weird engine. Like,
And they've been around a while, so people
yeah,
have
so
definitely...
people know. And, like, that's how I got to the white
But,
vinegar thing, like,
just so you
not
know,
damaging anything.
Nobody has ever flushed the coolant on a nailhead after 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the other thing is like another person's like, well, the correct way to do it would be to pull the engine out and to pull the frost plugs out. I'm like, that's not happening. They go, well, you're not gonna get the rust out. I'm like, yeah, but that's also not happening. I'm not pulling this 800-pound engine on my car to replace the frost plugs, and because at that point I'm gonna rebuild the whole fucking thing, and I'm definitely not doing that right
No,
now.
it runs. It's fine.
Yeah, this is a perfectly functioning engine. So what my solution is, aluminum radiator for now until I get the iron one rebuilt, because the rebuild's like $600 and an aluminum radiator is like $200.
Yeah, recoring is a cool process.
Yeah, and it actually works a lot better for like if I wanted to drive this to Chicago, I'd want to have a copper radiator.
They're brass, aren't they?
They're copper and brass. They're copper heads of brass centers, I think, or something. I don't know what the fuck they are.
That's why they
But-
have to get all soldered together.
But anyway, they're getting soldered together. I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do that immediately because I don't want to recore it and then have shitty old coolant go back into it.
Sure.
Like, I'll just do that later and then just put a $200 Champion radiator, which is an exact factory replica with an extra core to account for the fact that it's aluminum, and then just put that in. Done. And then the trick is to keep coolant from getting from the engine into the radiator. You take the...
Don't you...
So you know how like, or not coolant, the rust.
Oh,
from the
scale,
coolant.
sure.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scaliness. You actually take pantyhose and you cut them and you put that over
The radiator neck?
over the outlet on the engine.
You mean nylons?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're called pantyhose. by
They're
breeders.
nylons. Okay.
Well, same thing.
Yeah, because it's panties and pantyhose.
Two very different things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two different things. Because pantyhose are nylons.
Yeah, panties, they're not going to do shit.
Yeah,
Too
no,
small.
panties aren't gonna do it. Pantyhose will.
Okay.
So that's how you
Please
get.
don't take mine.
I'm not going to. That was the first thing.
What if they're already ripped?
One of the guys actually said, he said, make sure you don't spend extra money. Use your wife's so she doesn't get mad at you for spending money on things you don't need to.
She's
be
going to have a ripped one. I guarantee it.
But that was obviously a joke to get me in trouble.
Okay.
But I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Thank you.
No,
I
because
may
all
go
of
to
mine
Cub
are
Food.
competition dance types.
No, I'm going to go to
man.
Cub
that are
Foods.
like $40 a pair.
I may go to Cub Foods and I'm gonna buy a $5 pair made for a grandma, and I'm
Yeah.
just gonna put it over. I'm gonna cut the toe off of it.
Please
and call it a
don't
day.
use grandma and in the same sentence ever again, but thank you.
But yes, I'm just gonna take the toe and put it over the make a little coolant condom.
This is that. Talk about a pivot. I now you got me thinking. Like when I put an aluminum radiator in Blubski.
Yeah.
But like the engine always lived with an brass radiator. It didn't fit in the car, so I didn't give any thought to it. But it's had just green shit Walmart coolant in it for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Also, don't you have cooling issues with that?
Not anymore. Not since I put the Bel Air radiator in there.
Oh, that probably helps.
I bought a triple core eBay radiator for a Bel Air. It fit perfect.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. Yeah,
It's been fine.
yeah.
It's been good. So anyway, I also have project car updates.
Oh,
as you
fun.
can tell, the first thing you did when you walked in here today was What is
Some-
this? I
some-
don't know. Change.
Something isn't right here. The math is off. Is what I said. I said the math is off on the cars. There's something missing.
I determined after some hemming and hawing that it was Brexit.
Yes,
Brexit
it was.
is not-
It was Brexit was the one that was no longer in here.
So I put an AEM 340 fuel pump in that car last fall, just before I parked it, and
Yes.
it was completely seized this spring after doing 0 miles.
Huh.
I found that there was a bunch of algae in the tank. I didn't know that could happen with gasoline.
I'm sorry. You have
Algae.
how much water was in that gas?
Well, oh god, I got a story about that after this. I don't know. It was non-oxy fuel, but it's old. I haven't driven the car regularly for like 4 years, so old fuel. I ripped the entire engine harness apart because like I know these really well. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, fuel pump is priming. I've got spark, won't start.
And you have
Doesn't
plankton.
make sense. And I saw the fuel pump, but I put a new fuel pump, which I just have. I have more. I just put a new one in there. I'm like, fine, whatever. I found out that not only was the fuel pump seized, it seized all the fuel injectors. So they had triggers coming from the ECUs, but they were all jammed. So I do the old trick where you tap the
on.
injector through a screwdriver, and I got one freed up, and it would fart. I'm like, okay, good. So I'm sitting there with it running on like 2 cylinders, barely idling, and I'm just freeing up injectors with a hammer. Drove it over, just trying to burn the fuel out. Fine. Got it running on 6 cylinders. Smells horrific coming out of the tailpipe.
'cause you're burning
It's burning
plankton.
just organic matter through the... Oh, God, these poor 60-pound Siemens injectors. Start the thing. 2 days later, they're seized again
Because they're full of plankton.
because they're full of plankton. So now I just need to get rid of this fuel.
Why don't you just drain the tank?
Well, it doesn't have a tank drain, so I just need to...
You got to pull the tank out and drain
No,
it.
I'm not doing that.
Why don't you drill a hole in it and put a cork in it?
Well, that's an option.
Put a petcock in there.
Only because you said petcock. I wish it was an early tank because they had a crossover, like a hard pipe, and you could just take it off and drain the tank with that. But the late ones used a gravity siphon on the return. Anyway, I've had more fuel issues this spring because the M5 has started up and it's just raining gasoline out of one of the quick
Did you
fittings.
fill all these cars? in the
Non-oxy. Same shit down the
The
street.
same deal. The same gas station.
Same gas station.
I think that they probably had a lot of water in that gas because you seem to have the same fucking issue.
No.
With
There's
multiple
There's
vehicles.
no plankton in the M5. It just
Are you
leaks.
sure?
Well, I'm pretty sure because it runs. Plankton does seem to jam injectors. But Jess, the RS3, I got a text from Mark 2 days ago. Jess's car randomly died. She was able to coast into a blah. I'm like, okay, well, it's an RS3. Take it to Rathana because he's the RS3 guy.
Yeah.
They pulled the thing. They tested the gas. 75% water. Found out that the Holiday gas station that they get fuel at, that was a common thing that day. The Department of Weights and Measures, Scott got involved. Now they're legally intertwined with Holiday, shall we say. But yeah,
Oh my God.
$1,800 in damage because it ruined the
Oh my
fuel pump.
God.
Yeah, I gotta love direct injection, don't you?
That's
That's why I go to
incredible.
different gas stations.
I just don't miss this
Yeah.
at all. I had no issues with Mr. Wags. In fact, I took it into the dealership for a PCV recall. Second time it's had that done in 4 years.
You know, credit where it's due to rioters and burning down gas stations. None of the gas stations around my house have any sort of issues with this because all of the gas stations are rebuilt in 2020.
Also, they're all full of water, apparently, so that doesn't
No,
burn.
not around my house because all these gas stations were burnt to the ground.
I know, but they're trying to keep them from being able to burn again. So
so
there's
there's
water.
oh, that's probably why.
That's
yeah.
why.
Yeah, no, all my gas stations, I don't have any problems. Like, literally, every gas station outside of my neighborhood, I've heard of people having problems.
Yep.
But, like, the 5 gas stations within walking distance of my house.
That super ghetto Holiday down the street from my house, non-oxy, never a problem.
Yeah. Like, my gas stations are all fine because they were all rebuilt, like, 2 years ago. Because
It's weird how new tanks that don't have groundwater penetrations don't have these issues.
it's not even the tank itself, it's the connections to the tank. That's where it leaks. Because the
Great.
tank itself usually, if the tank leaks, you have a catastrophic EPA nightmare.
Yeah, I don't live in Ohio.
Speaking of water,
There's actually a place in Minnesota that's having a problem with that.
Oh, I was talking about the train derailment and the
Yeah.
huge EPA thing.
Similar to that, there's a small town in like in rural Minnesota where they were suing.
Bleep.
No, they were suing a gas station owner
Oh yeah.
because the tank, like that the gas was in, got into their city's municipal water system.
Oh, I don't like flammable tap water.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So
That's.
I can't remember what town that was.
I've seen Aaron Brockovich before. This doesn't pan out well
Can
for the
I
company.
put in a little topic now that
Yes.
we're talking about water?
Do it.
There was a viral. Stop it. There was a viral TikTok this week of. Have you seen the Office episode where
Yes.
Michael and Dwight are going off campus for a sales call, and Michael drives into a lake because the GPS tells
Yeah,
him?
it means bear right, not turn right.
Yeah.
I think it knows, Dwight.
Well,
I have seen that episode.
somebody drove into a marina in Hawaii.
IRL.
IRL this week.
She had
And
lopsided hair.
she drove like a silver Dodge Caravan just into the marina, and you see that the entire marina is all sailboats. I don't know how they got
It's
as
clearly a
far as
marina.
to the marina.
Sailboats are kind of round. Dodge Caravan's kind of round.
Yeah, I don't know how you get in the midst of all these
On
sailboats.
a wooden dock.
And a sailboat team had to jump off.
It wasn't the jetty. It was a dock.
Yeah.
She drove off of a dock.
It's a really good dock. Really wide dock, too. Holy shit.
Well, and so a sailboat
Well,
team.
it's for
had
like
to-
it's for ocean-going sailboats,
Well, I get it.
Yeah.
But still.
sail ships.
Anywho, so a sailboat team had to jump off
Sail
their
ship team.
sail ship team had to.
You.
God damn it.
Sorry. I
So
apologize.
this team.
If you're confused,
Jenna, please
Oh
push
my
through.
God, Ryan, shut up! So this team has to jump off their boat and save
Sail
this
ship.
woman. This woman, and you just see her, and she's in this car, and she's like, "Oh."
she's just going,
She's like-
"What did I do? I don't get what's
It's
wrong
like-
here. How did
Is
this
this
happen?"
like the
Those
black and
guys-
white dramatization thing of an as seen on TV ad?
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
and she
it
had like
was-
the lopsided Karen
Yeah,
haircut and like the big
and she's just,
sunglasses.
Like, nose is fully in the ocean, and she's just doesn't take her seat belt off. She's just like, and it's like, how did you make all these decisions to lead you here?
We have been working around natural selection far too much the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to just let it happen.
Yep. Lock your doors.
Lock your doors.
Yeah, and then
Keep your windows up. Just stay there.
stay there and think about your
When I was looking
actions.
for articles today, I found one about they're considering a TSB for Dodge Journeys because the door locks aren't functioning properly when the power is cut to the car, which happens in the event of an engine fire. And there have been more than one instance of somebody being trapped in their Dodge Journey and dying while it burns down because of this.
Why don't you just break the window?
There's a lot of things that still work.
Like you could just open the door.
There's
right?
also a physical, on Dodge Journeys, because they're based on the Mitsubishi GS, there's a physical connection between the lock-unlock thing on the door that actually does undo it. So you don't have to rely on your power locks.
Yeah, I really hope
to
that
exit
none
the
of these
vehicle.
people ever win any of these lawsuits. Like this is it's natural selection. This is bad for humanity.
Yeah.
So if you were confused about
The sail ships?
what we were laughing so hard about boat versus ship, a ship is technically a boat, but is ocean going. That is the difference between a boat and a ship. So, now you know.
whoa. On Lake Superior, then,
They're both.
cargo boats,
Are
Yeah,
cargo
cargo
ships.
but they're not ocean going.
Yes, they are.
How do you know?
Because
they're on a
they
lake.
go to the ocean.
How do you know that? Some of them might not.
Well, then
Yes.
there's a mixture of the two.
So I
Cargo
might
boats.
be seeing a car boat.
If it's very large, it is a ship.
It's capable of going in the ocean, but what if it never does?
Well, if it's capable, then it's a capability.
So oh my god, the jet ski is now a jet ship?
I guess technically,
Because
yes.
I could take it into
How far into the ocean can you take it? Can you
I
go
don't-
to Cuba?
I don't.
I imagine piloting the boat from Miami to Cuba would be kind of your litmus test. Like, if you can get to another nation via ocean, like, you get to I think it's international waters. If you can navigate
What's that, like
out,
15 miles or something?
I don't know. But I think if you can navigate out to international waters, at that point, it's considered a ship.
I think if I put a big enough fuel cell on a Sea-Doo Spark, I could probably do that.
What is the difference?
I do remember on my cruise that I went on
Between-
last spring, my phone welcomed me to Cuba. And I'm like, I wish.
I wish I was
I
in
wish.
Cuba. I would get.
We apparently blindsided that bad boy. So
But for sailing vessels, a ship is a square-rigged craft with at least 3 masts. A boat isn't. Where in regard to a motorized craft, a ship is a large vessel intended for ocean-going or at least deep-water transport.
was
A
right,
boat
they
is
are
for anything else.
sailboats.
So intended for deep-water transport
Okay.
would be your ships that you
Gotcha.
see in Duluth. Yes, those would be ships. Whereas a boat is for something that's not deep water.
So I was right. They're sailboats.
So what if there's a part of the ocean that is really shallow and they only do that?
That's called an atoll. But you have to get to the said atoll.
But it's still a boat then, right?
Well, no, if it's meant just to go on the atoll, it's a boat.
Okay. That's fair.
Now,
We never do digressions here on Carbitrage.
the
so.
question is,
Never.
does this where is like the difference? What are like quadriremes and trimarines? Those are the man-powered oarboats. Are those ocean-going ships once they go out till?
Those are intended for traversing seas, so yeah, it'd be deep water.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
a ship.
so, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a ship. All right, cool.
And also, they probably could fit them with 3 masts as auxiliary power.
Well, I was thinking more like, but like,
I know
like
which-
Hawaiian stuff. And anyway,
But you
so moving
could.
on, I want
Okay.
to talk about Hozon Auto. Hozon Auto is a company you've not heard of
Correct.
because they've
That
only
is-
been making cars since 2018. They make really, really cute little guys.
Bear with me.
They're like, most of what they make are, for the most part,
Starting with this while the other one loads.
what they make are, if you scroll down, I'll show you the actual cars. They make like small, like little itty bitty crossovers.
Netta. Oh, they are cute.
They are really good. Honey, look at these little guys.
That looks like
The small little Chinese cars are great.
that's like a miniature Vulcan. That's a miniature C8. That's a miniature BRZ SUV.
Yeah, they make
They're
Chinese
just
city
copying
cars.
shit.
Yeah.
This is great. Oh, that one's purple.
And so this is the thing is they in 2018 had like 1,200 sales because they had just started making cars.
1206.
And in 2022 there were over 120,000.
Yes, quite over.
They are growing quickly. And they are actually expanding out of the Chinese market to Southeast Asia. And that's cool. Good for them.
Did
However,
you know that Netta is popularizer of smart EV?
now I know.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. Yep,
That's
you're
great.
welcome. Yep. Also, it's touchable and
But
smart.
this is the thing: is the Mirage in Mitsubishi's like kind of breadbasket is Southeast Asia right now. The hat is going to be a real bee in Mitsubishi's bonnet.
So what you're saying is Mitsubishi should private label this and call it the Mirage and make it an EV Mirage.
I think I should make an EV Mirage, yeah, because they need to like. If Mitsubishi could private label the BYD Blade batteries and just stick like literally any motor onto a Mirage, that right there is a pretty screaming EV. And I bet you could do that real cheap.
And you probably don't even have to mess with the tooling that's been paid for like 40 years.
Yeah. You don't need to reinvent the wheel.
However, I will say Mitsubishi, please do that, but do make it touchable and smart.
What is
Because
that
if not,
ad?
you're not going to be able to.
You do need to have the
There
touchable
was
smart
a
EV.
feet ad.
There was a feet ad?
Yeah, so
Feet
the only news aggregator I could find that actually posted
Oh, God,
this
there it
video, this video, this story
We'll go
was
back to
the
the Wikipedia. Bangkok Post.
the Bangkok Post because everywhere else was like just this.
There we go.
These are the only people that did not have a paywall. But the Netta V
yeah, because they're
touchable
selling
smart
feet
EV.
ads.
The Netta V Touchable Smart
EV.
EV. God, what a great name. It's honestly
This
a
is
really
like 80s Japan
Yeah.
all over again.
This is actually a really cute little truck. I kind of like this a lot. Like, that's kind of the form factor that crossovers should be. Like, if
long
you're
as
going to
they're
have a
tiny.
crossover, have it be small. And just like, look how good that is. It's like, this is what the Kia Soul is supposed to be. Like, the Kia Soul is kind of like this. It's just like a tallish, sort of weird, tiny
super
wagon.
narrow too. That's huge.
A really narrow, tall, small wagon that's
But
easy
will
to get
this
into and out
get,
of.
taken by the Kia boys?
No, it won't because it's
Okay,
electric.
so it's a Kia boys safe.
And it's a popularizer of Smart EV.
They will
Do they have
probably also put a steering
hamster?
lock in it. Hopefully.
Ooh, how much is... They actually have a price here.
Do they have hamster mascots though?
How many-
No, probably not.
many baht?
549,000 baht.
Alexa, how many US dollars is 549,000 baht?
It's $16,000. That's actually a great fucking deal for a brand new car. $16,000.
It's too quiet, so I'm going to assume that you have the answer.
Yes, I just looked it up.
Good.
It's 200,000. It's 200,000. It's $16,000. That's a great deal. That's exactly.
We
the
don't know
EV.
any of the specs, but we do know that it's touchable.
I will
so-
tell you that that's a touchable car that I would like to touch and have in my driveway because that's.
You know what? That sounds really smart to have a touchable EV in your driveway.
And it's I'd be a popularizer of it because people would see my touchable.
We're
Smart
available
EV.
for sponsorship.
Yes,
Meta.
we would be. This is great. Like,
We could talk about the hamsters later.
they
Three
plan.
Carbitrage Nettas coming
So
soon.
they sold 200,000 cars in
Their feet
2022
back up.
alone. They sold. They sold. They sold 200,000 cars. Or 212,000 cars in 2022, right? This year they're trying to sell 300,000 in Thailand alone.
They sold 152,073 in 2022, according to the Wikipedia.
What was the last number that they have?
2022.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so that number. They're trying to sell 300,000 in Thailand alone this year.
They probably will.
Yeah, because look at it. It's a popularizer of a
can't-
tiny smart
off
EV.
the top of my head, and I talk about EVs a lot, I cannot think of another EV out there that is touchable and smart. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to do really well.
Or cheap.
Or
It's like $16,000.
yeah,
for
we've
EV.
seen some like teasers. We don't have any cheap EV options.
Well, because
okay?
what's the Wulong Sunshine? No, the Wulong Sunshine's their minivan. What was that little?
Great name. The Aura Cat.
No, the little cute one that looks like that's like a little square with a convertible top.
Oh, the Wuling Mini.
Yeah, the Wuling Mini. Yeah, the Wuling Mini is like too small to be like a plausible family car. This is totally like a mom can buy this car.
Yeah.
And enjoy her life.
Yeah, the Wuling is also, it's limited to like a very low speed. I think it'll only do 50 or 55 miles an hour.
Blue Jays outside.
Oh, Mordecai.
Um,
But this is going to be just like a normal car, which is kind of cool. And also they're backed by
do they have the blade batteries from BYD?
they
They might.
I don't know because they're backed by CATL, which is apparently the world's
Whoa,
largest.
you had me at CAT.
Yeah, CATL is apparently the world's largest EV battery maker. Like the actual company that makes them for Chinese.
Jeez.
Yeah,
well,
this
then
is
it's- then you know it's lithium iron
Hozon
phosphate.
was actually founded by CATL to sell cars.
I really
on their own.
like that you need to have Cat to spell that company's name.
Yes, that's very good. So you know it's gonna be good.
So it's a touchable, smart, soft cat EV.
Yes, by Hozon, which is a subsidiary of CATL, which
This
is
is-
Contemporary Amprex Technology Company Limited. This is the name of the
I'm
company.
gonna call it Cat with a lowercase l.
Cattle, and they were founded in 2011.
Cows.
So yeah, that's actually kind of a cool little guy. I like him. He's really cute, small little dude. I like hearing about new manufacturers I've not previously heard of, and I like it when cars are small and cute.
Have
And
you
touchable.
ever heard an angry cow?
No.
Oh, cows are
Well, like a bull maybe, but
no cow.
Because like you think,
Bull's a
how
cow,
am I
isn't
gonna
it?
be able to tell a cow is angry? Because apparently we just don't see angry cows. I saw a video of an angry
I
cow.
do know
and-
that happy
They haven't-
cows make Wisconsin cheese.
Yeah.
Angry cows actually have like you know, cats have an angry meow. Yeah, cows have an
exactly.
angry moo.
Oh,
Just very similar.
I imagine
Cows
it's
and
not
cats.
very common then.
Cows and cats, if
No,
you
it's
actually watch them, have
Cows are very happy.
Good.
yeah, they actually have very similar personalities.
They do.
do cows like to have their tummies pet?
Yes, actually, they really do love that. That's like one of their favorite things.
Good.
If you socialize them well enough, they don't mind if you like climb and lay on them and give
That's
them
pretty
little
good.
scritches.
Yeah,
If
socialized.
cats were bigger, they would totally be chill with that.
So socialized cows, like they'll take naps with you, where like they'll lay down and then you lay on them, and then they put their head on your lap.
Your chair just sounded like a cow.
Yes, it did. But like, so like when a cow like lays down, you can like lay on them, and then they'll put their head on your lap, like a little seatbelt, and they'll cuddle with you. What
I
about
didn't even see
fishing
the
boat
chat.
that crosses Lake of the Woods? That is an international lake.
Well, yeah,
International
but it's
boundaries.
deep water though. So
How deep?
I don't know how deep Lake of the Woods is.
What is it? What is the term
Also,
for deep water?
Yeah, well, what's the limit for deep water?
Do we have a tariff on Thai cars? No, we do not, to my knowledge. I don't think anything beyond your normal import tariff. If they made a truck, yes, it would be subject to chicken tax, though.
What is MIC?
Because MIC, it's
Sorry, we're reading live chat even though we missed it. I've been facing
tariff.
like directly away from the
Yeah,
chat
we've been
screen.
looking at bluebirds outside and
Customs.
trains and talking about
Made in China.
cows.
Oh yeah, but
made in
there's,
China. Yeah, okay, yeah. So there's
but there's a lot of exemptions in for those Chinese.
if
made
it's
goods, too.
made for in the Thai market, so basically the tariff comes in where the final assembly point is.
Okay.
From what I understand.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because there are going to be tariffs. Like let's say it was an American vehicle that was made in. Like, we'll use VinFast for instance, because they're going to run into this. VinFast will run into a tariff on every single part that is on their truck that's made in China, that they're making in the United States. However, they will have to pay that tariff, not us.
Well, there's different tariffs for the components too, so you may have a
Yes,
couple layers.
but the final assembly is based off the VIN. So if it says it's made in China, which
So-
I think is a Z,
so we
then
need these
it'll
to be ones.
They need to be North America would be we would need them to be made in North America for the full tax credit. However, $16,000 tax credit doesn't matter. They can be made in Thailand, for all I
Yeah,
care.
but they
And
could
the
also-
Mirage is made in Thailand, so
They could also use the old Fiat 500 factory in Mexico.
They could.
that's true. Actually, fun fact: a lot of Chinese manufacturers are going to Mexico to get around tariffs.
To get the avocados.
Yes, for avocados, they're
Mexico.
exchanging their tariffs for avocados.
That checks out. That's
And-
currency.
Yeah, that's how they make it. So actually, a real estate Nuevo Leon, where I was thinking about getting the leases are also exempt from tax credit.
I need to know
exemption.
more about that.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Huh.
So you can lease a car that doesn't have a U.S. manufacturer, and you can still get a tax credit, or something that would be eligible.
Give me an Aura Cat, please.
No, those got really expensive. Interesting. So you could. Wow, can you buy out the lease at the end though? That seems like that is a loophole. That's so stupid. How did they miss that?
It's in the United States.
So
they
you could
probably
get-
designed that in there.
So if I were to lease a Hyundai Ioniq 5N
Mm-hmm.
and then buy it out at the end of the lease, I get the full credit. Mm-hmm. Oh, Scott had the exact same idea. And my next story is actually talking about the Hyundai.
Thank God for that incredible segue.
You're welcome, and it's a Top Gear story.
Perfect.
So this was actually a YouTube video I watched, but I found they did a printed story on it too. And so Albert Berman, the old BMW M director,
Yes.
responsible for all of the N mechanicals across the entire product line.
Yeah.
And they stole all the Audi designers. So
Yep, they made a perfect
make
European
the
car.
Perfect car. Top Gear went out and they test drove the Mule for the new Hyundai 5 Ioniq N, whatever the heck, all these names. And I don't know why I'm saying Hyundai, but I think it's because I'm watching Top Gear's logo,
Hyundai?
and they always say it wrong. And I
they
think
gonna
Hyundai
get
has
a-
actually publicly scolded Britain for saying Hyundai
to
wrong.
be fair, they also say Peugeot.
Ugh.
Ew.
The British
And they
people
do
do a
say
lot of
when they're
things
getting
wrong.
They
Chinese
also-
food, they say that they're getting a Chinese, which is really weird.
And then they
and-
put curry and French fries on it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I would try that. but
China's a
having
curse-
a curry.
Or not China.
They also say going to hospital when they're going in
Yeah.
or the chemist if they're getting pharmacy goods.
English is bad.
Anyway, so the
English are bad, honey. Make it
thank you
correct.
for the article, Scott. I will click on that as soon as I'm done with this one. But they made an interesting point, and that's basically all I want to cover. Is there is an artificial sound device in this vehicle, and the Hyundai engineers said we put it in there because when you're in hooligan mode and you're drifting the thing, you do actually want an auditory feedback of where the powertrain is, so you know how close to the limit of
Yeah.
braking traction you are.
That's actually a really
I'm
good
like,
point.
that's a really, really good point because the limited amount I'm able to slide my car around on, I don't know if the rear axle is going 200 miles an hour or 30. I have no idea. So it could be like snapping.
I would feel better about the auditory thing because, like, all right, so Dodge made their dumb little Hemi engine thing by actually amplifying the natural engine, like the natural sound of the engine's fan or the motor's fan.
Yeah.
I feel like Hyundai could just put like a transducer on the actual motor body and play that through speakers, or just remove all of the sound deadening from the engine bay and have the motor make noise because motors make noise.
Motors do make noise.
They in fact make a noise.
But the whole thing with that is like on a cruise, you don't want a whir necessarily, like a shrill whir the entire time. So like have something that's selectable.
It's an N.
I know, but like.
Oh.
But
yeah, so the transducer thing, I guess, would be the right idea.
Perfect.
Then, yeah.
Then you can disconnect it. Like the Volkswagen did that. It was Sound Actor, I think they called it.
So Volkswagen's thing actually
There's a physical pipe that connected to the boost.
to the intake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
thing.
that I've actually seen those on cars, and yeah, that does work. And boy,
But I agree.
there were several old men in which we had to disconnect their little sound pipes off their Golf Rs because they just wanted an all-wheel drive Golf, but instead they got a Golf R.
The GTI that I owned for a couple of months had the pipe removed by a previous owner. I'm like,
Why would you do that?
okay. It was also a broken car. But anyway, I just thought that was... I've never actually heard an engineer defend why that's a thing, but I agree.
That actually makes a lot of
Amplifying
sense, yeah.
The noise that's there, it makes so much more noise than having this improvised synthetic noise.
You know, I feel like they should just say that. Like, that should be a sales thing. Like, hey, why are you making the fake noise? So you can hear the car.
So when you power slide it, you know exactly where you are.
It's
in the skid.
not for other people. It's so when you're driving the vehicle at a track, you know what you're doing. Because if you...
Oh, got it.
No, that's bad.
I clicked on Scott's link.
I don't want that. That's a $7,500 loophole for a bad front end. Can you scroll down?
Yes.
All right, thank
As
you.
long as there's no more feet ads, I'm good.
Oh,
The
here-
feet ads are fine. They're Thai
you
feet.
can get a full credit on a Leaf? Oh, nice.
That's kinda cool.
That's already a cheap car, so...
You can actually get, apparently, Leafs with bad battery packs very, very, very cheap. A lot of people in my neighborhood are considering buying them because they don't drive out of my neighborhood. Kind of like how I need a car.
Well, that's...
And they're like, yeah, I can just plug the car in and then drive to Target and back. I'm good.
And I think, there's different levels of bad, too. There's heavily degraded Leafs that are only good for like 30, 40 miles. That's perfect.
And that's exactly, they're like, as long as they can make it 20 miles, we're good. Yeah.
But I think, and a long time ago when all this legislation was still in proposal stage, they had a used tax credit put
Yes,
into
they
it.
did,
I
yeah.
think that is gone, which sucks.
Probably is. Yeah,
Because
sounds
like
about right.
being able to get like $1,000 back on a used $4,000 Leaf that's got a pack that's mostly used up, that's perfect for
Me. Yes.
Well,
anyone that lives in a city and needs to go do grocery shopping
When
once
I'm
in a while.
talking about EVs with my dad, I'm always talking about or any environmental kind of technology. I'm always talking about how inaccessible it is to the average person because everybody's like, no, we all need to go EV, we all need to do that. I was like, no, we
With
need to
what
support
money?
our public transportation system
Yes.
because you want to cater to the low the people that don't have enough money to buy
I'm
these
thinking of
cars,
every single person
or
I
to
see with a
maintain
Dodge
car,
Journey.
or all these things. So it's like, and
The car's least likely
You
to
know.
be insured.
yeah, and so I'm just like, it's anything, all of our environmental protections right now are really it's just really inaccessible to.
I had forgotten that. Yeah, the used credit is there. I was wrong, but they mandated that you buy it through a dealer,
Okay.
which is yes.
Oh, man. There's a whole market right there.
Yeah, that's true. If you had a dealership that did nothing but sell pretty
No,
much
if you
used
just have
EVs,
somebody that's got a dealer's license, and you're like, hey, would you like to sell your EV through me? We can get you the
broker
battery
fee is
credit.
a third of what the
Battery credit, yeah.
Yeah,
You have
the
a
tax credit.
$300 credit, and it's just some guy in his house, and all he does is he flips titles.
Yep.
And he
Just
just
reassignments.
or a title
That's it.
reassignment. That's it. Done. That's actually a very lucrative way to make money. I think you should do that.
So anyway, back to I could go in with that same business, which is advising. So Scott had an interesting point. The IRA views leased vehicles.
The IRA, the Irish Republican Army.
It says IRA. I don't know. I'm sure it's not the Irish Republican Army. They view all leased vehicles as commercial.
Protestants.
God. Damn it. And all
Inflation Reduction
Commercial-
Act.
okay. There you
Thank
go.
you, Scott.
Thank you.
But anyway, I would use this on an eGMP car for sure. But like honestly, a Leaf with the extended, even with the regular battery pack, if you get the full credit on that.
An i3.
Well, yeah. Oh, but those are. I don't even know if you can get a new one anymore.
No, you can't. I know you can't. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
sad.
yeah, no, you can get an i3. You can now get an i3 with a credit. That's good.
I do like the i3.
That's a silly.
If I ever find a good deal on an i3s, I'm going to have to buy it.
Have you had the pleasure of driving one?
I drove one when they were brand new.
Yes,
it was phenomenal.
I got to drive one in anger because we had a customer.
They respond very well to anger.
Yes, I had a customer that had a weird noise in their car, and we had to make it happen. And my technicians couldn't make it happen, and I was like the go-to guy for making weird shit happen on cars because I just make weird shit happen on cars. I was very adept at breaking customer cars.
If I am handed the keys to something, I will drive it as I would my own car.
Yeah, because like my thing was like, it's like if we had like a Vanagon, because like Vanagons always have like some sort of weird fucking problem.
They're all broken and the parts don't exist.
Yeah, and the thing is like if we had a guy like come back like 3 or 4 times, like it looks bad on us. It's like honestly, we're better off getting whatever that issue is to actually break. So I'd actually drive it harder than they would drive their car. And so to make it break and like be like, here, that's what it was. It broke here on our time instead of with you in the Black Hills. So
also, here's a company directory of all of the people that service these in the entire country.
Turns out the lady with the i3 had not taken the tire inflator, and she had not correctly connected it back. So she paid us like $200 in inspection fees to figure out that she just hadn't clipped in her tire inflator correctly. Yeah.
So it was like rolling around, causing noise.
It wasn't even rolling around. It was like mostly in there. But if you like were going full tilt over a pothole, it would go clunk.
Oh, interesting. Fiat solved this problem by putting hook and loop on the back of the tire inflators, and it stuck to the carpet.
Yeah, it works great.
Yep.
Also, Fiat just makes weird noises all the time because it's a Fiat. It's Italian. That's just what they do.
It does it with the Italian hand.
Yeah, it just clunks.
And it's going to do that forever, and it will never get worse, and it will just do the thing.
You know how many
that's how you know it's
Tony jokes I got?
Where's the rest of it? Fix it again, Tony.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I
just leaned
so
into
many
the
of
half
those
a car
jokes
thing.
when I was driving your Fiat.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't find that funny.
I had somebody call my car.
Nice Levante.
I had somebody call my car half a car once when I first got it. And then I pulled it into my half-size driveway for a snow emergency. And
look at that.
And they got a ticket, and I didn't. And I laughed at them. I said, pays to have half a car.
I did hear that very loudly across
You
the
are the type of dude that would compartmentalize that, wait 9 months. And then, that was the time.
Watch him just pull his car out of this snow emergency. And I'm just saying my half a car. And,
I love Fiat's 500.
Okay.
And they might not advertise it, but they are both touchable and smart.
Yes, they are. But they're not electric yet.
They are not electric here yet.
I heard a thing that Fiat has an announcement for the 500, though.
They brought one to the LA Auto Show. We covered this quite a while ago.
Yes.
But they haven't like officially
No,
announced
mate said that they were going to have some sort of announcement about it. Fiat.
I do feel like if those actually get brought here in the next year or so, we will have several people that are in this immediate friend group that buy those.
Oh, fuck. If I have a penny to my name, I absolutely will.
I miss driving a small EV so
All right,
much.
so November 17th, 2022, Fiat's iconic 500 city car to return to U.S. in 2024 as EV. Confirmed.
Yeah. We did cover that, but I don't know if it actually was confirmed.
Gelatnik, 2024, Fiat 500e finally coming to the U.S. Detroit News, Fiat to bring new electric 500e to America in 2024. Inside EVs, Fiat 500e coming to U.S. market Q1 of 2024.
Oh, I didn't put this up yet. Fiat USA, it's on their homepage if you just type it in.
Fiat 500e will be Stellantis' EV test run for the U.S.
No, they're bringing that garbage Alfa Romeo. They're bringing that first as the...
Fiat to launch 500e in America in 2024 brings 3 one-off specials to LA.
Okay, good. But they're bringing that Alfa Romeo first.
Here's why the upcoming 2024 500e could be a winner for Fiat
We covered
America.
Did you wake up?
We covered it. I just...
What did you do? You broke it.
I literally have no idea. We're still recording and everything.
Did you wake up and drink annoying juice
there.
today, Ryan?
There you go.
No, I just was being right. Because Fiat 500e is coming to America.
Again, we covered it. I think it was even my story. I was just prompted after that. Like, did they actually confirm that?
Yes,
Like,
it's been confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, look, it's on their site.
No, where's the first? How do I navigate this?
It's a bad website. It's made by Italians. There's a reason they lost
There it
World
is.
War II.
Ta-da!
Oh, that's a good green.
I know, I do like the
that's
green.
a really good green.
I just want Honda to bring the
Tonale.
Urban E here now because the Urban E is better.
Oh yeah, Tonale. What a great
I
name,
think
too.
it would be just so Fiat that Fiat makes a big deal of bringing their car here, and then Honda quietly brings the Urban E.
They
And
would
then
need
just
They would need to update it though. The battery range is not gonna fly here for those buyers.
well, neither with this.
This is like 230 miles.
Oh shit, that's like literally what a normal
I could drive
500.
that
They're sold with
to-
2 different pack sizes, but we're only gonna get the big one. The Tonale, thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah. This I can't remember. I think the Honda's still rear wheel drive, which that's awesome. But whatever.
That's a
And is
Fiat
a
I
much
could-
better
The-
interior.
The Fiat.
Have you seen the Urban E
Have
interior?
you seen a second gen Fiat 500 interior? I have seen the Urban E interior. I love the screens, and I love that you can turn it into an aquarium. The aquarium screensaver is definitely what I would use.
All right, let's look at it.
I love them both. I really respect the fact that the
Yeah,
Honda
I
is
see
rear-wheel
that,
drive,
but the Honda is much better than that.
they would have to double the range before any American would buy
Yes,
it.
that's true.
But they should still bring it here.
Yes, with double the
We've
range.
determined that so many times.
I think what they need to do is they need to wait, get the Blade battery technology from BYD, and then just make everything they have EV, and have all their commercials, the cars just being T-boned by trains and not exploding.
Take a close-up picture of the rocker panel, not
Not coming off.
delaminating.
There you go. That's how you actually sell them. That's the real sales pitch.
I just looked up. There's a 100% rain forecast from 6 to 8 p.m.
Yeah, well, there was one other time, and then they canceled it, and I razzed them for that yesterday. Hopefully they won't do it again.
No, I don't think they're gonna cancel it.
Good.
No, at the very least, I'm gonna have a beer
They
and a
aren't
pizza.
gonna want to give me my money back, so
Yeah, so they're gonna have a beer and a pizza. So we'll be there.
I love their pizza. Anyway, Cars and Crafts is tonight. If you're in the area and you're listening on the stream, which is basically just got, make sure you go.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.